Hello, friends. Welcome to this new episode. I am glad that you are here. Today, we are going to talk about how to focus on yourself in this noisy world. Now, let me ask you something gently. When was the last time you truly focused on yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a caring, honest way? Many of us wake up every day already tired. Not because we didn't sleep, but because our mind never rested. We think about what others expect from us. We worry about how people see us. We compare our life with someone else's success, someone else's happiness, someone else's speed. And slowly, without realizing it, we forget ourselves. We try to fix everything at once: our career, our relationships, our finances, our confidence. We watch videos, read quotes, make big plans. But after some time, we feel stuck again. And then a quiet thought comes into our mind. Why am I not seeing results? Why am I working so hard but not moving forward? If you've ever felt this way, you're not weak. You're human. Most people don't fail because they are lazy. They fail because their energy is scattered. Their attention is everywhere. On opinions, on noise, on pressure, but not on themselves. Today, we're going to talk about something very simple, yet very powerful. How to focus on yourself, your life, and start seeing results faster. Not overnight magic. Not unrealistic promises. But real change that you can feel inside first and then outside. Think about this for a moment. When a plant doesn't grow, we don't blame the plant. We check the soil. We check the water. We check the sunlight. In the same way, when your life doesn't move forward, it doesn't mean you are the problem. It means your focus may be in the wrong place. Many people are busy improving their image instead of improving their habits. They want validation before discipline. They want results before consistency. And this creates frustration. Focusing on yourself is not about ignoring the world. It's about building a strong inner foundation so the world cannot easily shake you. In this podcast, we will slow things down. We will reflect. We will unlearn some beliefs that keep us stuck. And step by step, we will understand how small shifts in focus can create fast, visible results in your life. You don't need to be perfect to start. You don't need confidence to begin. You just need honesty with yourself. Now, let's begin by understanding something important. Focusing on yourself sounds easy, but in reality, it is one of the hardest things to do in today's world. Why? Because we live in a time where everything and everyone wants your attention. Notifications, opinions, expectations, comparisons, your mind is constantly pulled outside. And when your focus lives outside, your power slowly leaks away. Most people don't realize this. They think they are tired because of work. They think they are stressed because of problems. But very often, they are exhausted because their mind is never with them. It's always somewhere else. Think about your daily life. You wake up and check your phone. You see someone else's success. You compare. You feel behind. Before your day even starts, your energy is already low. This is the first reason people struggle to focus on themselves: comparison addiction. Comparison is silent. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It says, "You should be further by now." It says, "Others are doing better than you." It says, "Your life is not enough." And the more you listen to it, the more you forget your own path. Here is a truth we need to accept gently. You cannot focus on yourself if you keep measuring your life with someone else's ruler. Every life has a different starting point, different struggles, different timing, different lessons. When you constantly compare, you don't see your progress, you only see your gaps. Now let's talk about the second reason: seeking validation instead of alignment. Many people say they want to improve themselves. But deep inside, what they really want is approval. They want people to notice their growth. They want quick praise. They want external confirmation that they are doing well. But real self-focus often looks boring from the outside. It looks quiet. It looks slow. It looks lonely. Waking up early to work on your skill. Saying no to distractions. Choosing discipline over comfort. These things don't always get applause. And that's why many people quit. Not because it's too hard, but because no one is clapping. When you focus on yourself, you must learn to clap for yourself first. Ask yourself honestly, am I building my life for my peace or for people's approval? This question can change everything. The third reason people struggle is mental clutter. Mental clutter is when your mind is filled with unfinished thoughts, old regrets, future fears, and constant self-criticism. You want to focus, but your mind is noisy. You want clarity, but your thoughts are crowded. So let's simplify this. Focusing on yourself does not start with doing more. It starts with removing what doesn't matter. You don't need 10 goals. You need one clear direction. You don't need to fix your whole life this year. You need to improve one habit at a time. This is where many people go wrong. They want fast results, but they choose scattered actions. And scattered actions create scattered results. Let me share a simple idea with you. Where your attention goes, your life grows. If your attention is always on problems, your problems grow. If your attention is on fear, fear grows. If your attention is on learning, growth grows. So the question is not, why am I not seeing results? The question is, where am I placing my attention every day? Now let's talk about how to actually begin focusing on yourself, practically, gently, and realistically. First, you must reconnect with yourself in silence. Silence is uncomfortable for many people, because in silence, you hear your true thoughts. You feel your true emotions. And that can be scary. But silence is where clarity lives. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes a day. No phone. No music. No distraction. Just sit. Breathe. Observe. You are not trying to control your thoughts. You are trying to understand them. This practice slowly builds self-awareness. And self-awareness is the foundation of self-focus. Second, define what results actually mean to you. Most people chase results they never defined. They say, I want success. But what does success look like in your daily life? Is it peace? Is it financial stability? Is it confidence? Is it freedom? If you don't define your version of results, you will keep chasing someone else's dream, and you will never feel satisfied. Write this down somewhere. What does a better life look like for me right now? Not 5 years later. Not after everything is perfect. Right now. Third, learn to protect your energy. This is very important. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every conversation deserves your time. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Focusing on yourself means setting gentle boundaries. It means saying no without guilt. It means choosing rest without apology. It means walking away from what drains you even if it looks attractive. Energy is currency. Spend it wisely. Fourth, build one non-negotiable habit. When people ask, how can I see results quickly? The answer is simple but not easy. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need to change everything. You need one habit you do daily, especially on days you don't feel like it. It could be 20 minutes of learning, 15 minutes of exercise, writing one page, practicing one skill. Small actions done daily create fast internal results. And internal results always come before external ones. Confidence grows when you keep promises to yourself. Focus grows when your actions are predictable. Results grow when your habits are stable. Fifth, stop waiting to feel ready. This is a big one. Many people delay focusing on themselves because they are waiting for motivation, clarity, confidence, or the right time. But readiness comes from action, not before it. You don't focus after life becomes calm. Life becomes calm after you focus. You don't gain confidence and then act. You act and confidence follows. Now, let's talk about something emotional but honest. Sometimes. The reason you can't focus on yourself has nothing to do with discipline, time, or motivation. But it has everything to do with emotional weight you've been carrying for years. Unspoken pain. Unhealed memories. Silent disappointments. You may not talk about them. You may not even think about them often. But they influence your choices every single day. Think about this carefully. How many times have you stopped yourself from trying because you were afraid of failing again? How many times have you stayed small because you didn't want to disappoint anyone? How many times have you chosen comfort because growth reminded you of past pain? This is not laziness. This is self-protection. At some point in your life, being quiet felt safer. At some point, lowering your dreams felt easier. At some point, not expecting too much felt less painful. But what once protected you may now be holding you back. And this is the hardest part of focusing on yourself, facing the version of you that learned to survive instead of thrive. Let me say this gently. You don't lack focus. You lack permission to choose yourself without guilt. Many people feel guilty for focusing on themselves. They think it's selfish. They think it's irresponsible. They think they must always be available, useful, pleasing. Especially if you grew up being the understanding one, the strong one, the silent one. You learn to adjust. You learn to compromise. You learn to put others first. And now, when you try to focus on yourself, an inner voice says, "Who do you think you are? Isn't this too much? Shouldn't you be doing more for others?" That voice is not your enemy. It is your old conditioning. And you don't fight it with anger. You release it with awareness. Here's a powerful realization. You can care about others without abandoning yourself. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean you stop loving people. It means you stop losing yourself. Now let's talk about fear, because fear is often the loudest emotion when you finally decide to focus. Fear of judgment. Fear of failure. Fear of success. Fear of change. Yes, fear of success. Because success changes how people see you. It changes relationships. It changes expectations. And some part of you wonders, what if I grow and I no longer belong? This fear keeps many people stuck in familiar pain instead of unknown growth. But ask yourself this honestly. Is staying where you are truly comfortable or just familiar? There is a difference. Familiar pain feels safe because you know it. Unknown growth feels scary because you don't know it. But growth is not the enemy. Stagnation is. Another emotional block is self-doubt disguised as humility. You say things like, "I'm not that talented. I'm just average. There are better people than me." And it sounds humble. But sometimes, it's fear wearing a polite mask. True humility does not shrink you. It grounds you. You don't need to believe you're the best. You just need to believe you're capable of learning. Now, let's talk about something very personal. Many people are waiting for their life to change before they focus on themselves. They say, "When things get better, I'll work on myself. When I have more time, I'll start. When I feel confident, I'll try." But life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't reward potential. Life responds to commitment. The moment you decide, quietly, firmly, that you will show up for yourself, something shifts inside you. Not outside. Inside. And that internal shift is powerful. Because for the first time, you stop running from yourself. You stop numbing. You stop avoiding. You stop distracting. You sit with discomfort. You sit with uncertainty. You sit with yourself. And in that space, something beautiful happens. You begin to hear your intuition again. Not the loud voice of fear. Not the critical voice of the past. But the calm, honest voice that says, "This matters. This is right. This is your path." That voice was always there. It was just drowned out by noise. Now here's the emotional truth most people don't talk about. Focusing on yourself will feel lonely at first. Because when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop seeking approval, when you stop reacting to everything, some connections fade. Some conversations feel empty. Some people won't understand you anymore. And that's okay. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to be aligned with yourself. Loneliness is not a sign you're doing something wrong. Sometimes, it's a sign you're growing. Think of it like this. Before a butterfly flies, it stays alone in a cocoon. Not because it failed, but because it's transforming. And during this phase, you must be gentle with yourself. Don't rush. Don't judge. Don't quit. You are unlearning years of patterns. You are rewiring beliefs. You are rebuilding trust with yourself. That takes courage. So if no one has told you this lately, hear it now. You are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to grow quietly. You are allowed to want more from life and from yourself. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You don't need to explain. Now, let's pause for a moment. Not to rush into the next thing. Not to scroll. Not to distract. Just pause. Because everything we've spoken about so far, focus, healing, self-trust, only becomes real when it gently moves into action. And action doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be honest. So instead of asking yourself, what should I change in my whole life? Ask something softer, something kinder. What is one small way I can show up for myself today? Maybe it's choosing rest instead of overworking. Maybe it's studying for 20 minutes without checking your phone. Maybe it's saying no to something that drains you. Maybe it's saying yes to something that scares you in a good way. Small choices create strong momentum. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need a 5-year plan. You don't need anyone's permission. All you need is one promise to yourself and the courage to keep it. So here's a simple invitation, not a demand. Over the next 24 hours, choose one habit that supports your focus. Just one. Write it down if you can. Say it out loud if that helps. Make it real. And when your mind says, this is too small to matter, remind yourself. Small steps done consistently change lives. Another gentle action you can take is reflection. At the end of your day, ask yourself 3 questions. What drained my energy today? What gave me energy today? What can I do differently tomorrow? This is not self-criticism. This is self-respect. As we come to the end of this episode, let's return to where we started. Not to the noise, not to the pressure, but to you. Focusing on yourself was never about escaping life. It was about meeting life with clarity. When you focus on yourself, you stop reacting to everything around you. You start responding with intention. You stop living on autopilot. You start living with awareness. And that changes everything. Results don't always arrive as sudden success or big applause. Often, they arrive quietly. You feel lighter. You think clearer. You trust yourself more. You stop chasing and start choosing. These are real results. And they come faster than you think when your focus is aligned. Remember this. Progress is not measured only by what you achieve. It's measured by what no longer controls you. When others' opinions lose their power. When comparison no longer steals your peace. When fear no longer decides your future. That is growth. Life will still test you. There will still be busy days. There will still be moments of doubt. But now you have something strong to return to yourself. Whenever you feel lost, come back to the basics. Your breath. Your habits. Your values. You don't need to restart your life. You just need to realign your focus. And if today feels like a small step, that's okay. Small steps taken consciously are more powerful than big steps taken randomly. So be patient with your journey. Be kind to your pace. Be honest with your effort. You are not here to compete with anyone. You are here to become the most present version of yourself. If this episode helped you reflect, even a little, you're welcome to share what stood out to you. A thought, a feeling, a realization, whatever feels true. And if you feel like staying connected to these conversations, you can subscribe and be part of this growing space of calm, clarity, and self-growth. Not because you have to, but because choosing yourself again and again is always worth it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And most importantly, thank you for choosing yourself today.